Finna go over my trades from Friday, January 23rd, 2026. So I told myself and my wife I wouldn't trade, but I ended up taking a couple, so let's go over them. I didn't trade in the morning, just watching the market. And then once volume started to go down here, I took a break from even looking at it. Still had these lines charted, but I wasn't trading. I was still at work, and then I think this was around lunchtime, and I seen this big algo from the beginning of the day, this magenta that broke. Volume came in, so I started to pay attention. So once we broke down past the pink, I knew the bulls weren't in control anymore, or even if they were, they would have to build liquidity, right? So there's a lot of liquidity up here, so you definitely got to take that into account when you're trading, right? Always identify those liquidity levels. I mean, this magenta was one, so the moment it broke, you got to start to pay attention, right? I seen it go down, break 20-day, and from that moment, I had this pink charted. This is my first trade, and it was actually negative. I cut it really quickly. I had this pink right here, and I thought pink had broke, and I thought this major 687 level had broke as well, and obviously my natural target was the 5-day moving average. But once it went right above that, I cut it right away. I wasn't trying to take any risks. Like I said, there's still this 20-day moving average liquidity that the market could go and grab, and I had this teal charted, right? So this teal, sorry, that's an ugly line. Whatever, it's all good. So you can see what I'm saying, right? Once that teal broke, I knew the bulls had a chance to go up, right? They could grab this liquidity, and if the bears wanted it, they'd have to break this magenta. So, the moment I seen that teal break, though, I was looking for longs. It was just a better RR, right? Because you could have your stops at this magenta, and if that broke, then you could switch directions, right? But that didn't happen, so I got into longs right here, and you got a lot of support here, right? You got your magenta, you got your pink, and you got this level. So I went long right here. Once teal broke, and then it retested teal right here, I'm long. Bam. Hit this trade. Positive trade. Great trade. I knew there was still the possibility for the head and shoulder pattern right here. Let me switch that color so it makes a bit more sense. All right. So I was still watching out for this, right? Because that was a possibility. But that teal was still looming, right? So I seen that teal building liquidity, and if the bears wanted to take it, they'd have to break this orange first as a first confirmation, and then as a secondary confirmation, you'd have to break this magenta, right? Forgive my colors. But the moment, so I took the trade at the 20-day, hoping for the head and shoulders. The moment it didn't, I knew right here that it wouldn't, so I cut my trade. It was still a positive trade, just slightly positive, right? Just once this teal broke, and I knew that the bears didn't have it right away, or at least they needed some more, right? So once that happened, I took a break right here, you know, I'm positive on the day now. At this point, I'm just waiting for something to happen. So, firstly, this magenta has to break for this to go down. And as you can see, it just never did. Like, they had a chance right here as well. Bears could have took that. They didn't. So at that point, I'm eyeing this liquidity right here with pink, because you see pink right here, right? You see this pink. Sorry, that's ugly again, but you get the idea. You see this pink from the very top here, and once that broke, I took that trade, especially with your 20-day as support. Bam. That was it right there. Beautiful trade. I think I might have cut it. Maybe I took one here. Took another one here. And then I set my stops at break even and just let it ride, because, you know, maybe if they wanted to grab that liquidity and go all the way up. That didn't happen. I think I got stopped out at break even, like here maybe. So yeah, man, overall great day. Just showing that patience pays, and that's how you gotta play it. Anyways, thanks guys, have a great weekend.